Second. All in,
Vice Chair Burns,
yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Commissioner Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, and Chair Carney.
Yes. I'm going to change a rule here too. Public comments. Any members of the public that wishes to we approve. Yeah. Any member of the public that wishes to comment on any agenda or non-agenda item, please come up to the lectern, give your name and address. You'll each have 3 minutes. Isn't that right?
Yeah. 3 minutes.
You made me think it was like less for the CRA.
No.
We can do that.
Sorry.
You know how I feel. One moment.
Hi, good afternoon, Carter Van
Hold on
Voort.
one moment.
Hold on. Hold on. Please.
It's playing back.
I totally think 3 o'clock is a little too early.
I literally
Somebody has to
didn't
use
make it. I was gonna.
Good afternoon, Carter Van Voort for VAP
They have
Group,
to share.
265 Northeast 5th Avenue, Delray.
I'm sorry. Would you start again? I wasn't paying attention.
Carter Van Voort for VAP Group, 265 Northeast 5th Avenue, Delray. I'm here to make some comments about why you want a 3-block development at 6, 7, 8 instead of just block by block.
Could I ask you to just move the mic down a little? It's very difficult to hear you. No, toward or maybe to your left, and I don't know.
But as you get started, I want to correct you. Nobody has decided on anything such as that, which is part of our discussion, and I understand that's why you're raising the point. Whether or not they should be 3 separate RFPs or 1 RFP covering 3 lots. I want to make it clear that that decision has not been made.
I understand that, and I'm just making a bid once again for our project, which was
Gotcha.
awarded 2nd place in 2019. The reason you want a 3-block development in West Atlantic is, number 1, speed. There's an awful lot of site work that's going to have to go on out there. Sewers are going to have to be put in, water lines are going to have to be put in. It's a tremendous amount of work. The more real estate you can get under site work at the same time, the better off you are. I understand that there's a concern about having things look too much like the same development. Our development was plotted at a 2-story and a 3-story and a 4-story. And it's very easy to change facades. But we also have a condominium community behind the retail development that is currently plotted for 112 homes. That community needs to be cohesive. It needs to be one community. You're not going to have 3 little tiny separate condo associations back there, and really you're not going to have any economies of scale for building. We're exploring the possibilities of building all of those residences in public-private partnership so that we can develop at cost. We believe that there's enough profit in the retail section that we wouldn't have to worry about making any money, which also makes those homes attainable, not just affordable. And we've heard a lot from especially the set community about attainable housing. I certainly hear about it almost every week at the elders table. The second thing is in attracting business to come and in attracting businesses to come and be there. You want to be able to have enough real estate there that complementary businesses can come in as tenants. So it helps if you've got some restaurants and some retail and some real walkability down there. If you isolate things just by block, and you don't have a starting point, it's going to be very difficult to attract tenants to that area. The third thing is you're really trying to create a destination. So even though you're changing facades around, you can create a promenade there of that 3 blocks, and you can kind of redefine actually what you want civic space to look like. If you want civic space on West Atlantic.
Thank you, Carter. You made some very good points. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Jess Sowards, 185 Northeast 4th Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida. I just, at the last workshop meeting, I made a comment, and I just wanted to explain that comment about when it was inquired as to whether or not the 3 blocks should be developed as 1 or it should be developed as 3. And I mentioned that, I thought it could be developed in 3. And the reason why I felt that way is that it's hard to create 3 individual kind of looking kind of communities. I think it's important that that comes through as an evolution of a feel for the town. Since we want the East Atlantic, West Atlantic to feel like one Atlantic, that's how East Atlantic was developed. They had little 50-foot lots, and they kind of developed over time. Since then, I did meet with Sonny and Carter, and there's a lot of validity to the one developer. And the challenge would be of the architect to create that diversity, and the strategy to do so. I know I can do that, of creating that diversity. And for me, the most important thing is not whether I get a job. The most important thing is the town. What does the city look like? That's the most important thing. And I do have some strategies involved in how to accomplish that. So I just wanted to be clear as to the reason why I said 3 individual, kind of developments was for that diversity. And we have stopgaps within the city through SPRAB, to make sure that happens. So there's a lot of validity that we got drawings ready to go. We can redress it, we can reskin it, but I think it's a lot for you to think about. I think it's a very viable option. So I just wanted to clarify.
No, you didn't need to actually. I mean, you gave us initially a design that was flexible in terms of how it could be, done. So
Yep.
That's fine.
Okay.
Understood.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. No.
Mayor, respectfully, I wouldn't address any of these comments on this
You're very
subject.
strict. Okay.
No, sir, it'd be adverse.
No, you're correct. You're correct. Agree.
Ongoing litigation should not be commented on.
Thank you.
I wasn't talking about litigation.
Okay. The subject matter of the litigation.
Oh. Well, totally different. Montre.
Montre Bennett, 323 Northwest 2nd Avenue. I just want to say thank you all for doing the social the other day. I think it was very well attended. I've seen many faces who I have not seen at events before, and I think it was very informal and informational to them. I was home, so I ran here. With the 3 blocks. Yes, let's keep it diverse and let everybody get wealthy in Dairy Beach. Not just one person, not just one company. Let everybody and let the community voice be heard with those 3 blocks. Again, 3 blocks. It's in our neighborhood. Y'all know what we want. We want a grocery store. We want a bank, and we want everything that's gonna benefit us right in this neighborhood. Yeah, keep listening to the people. The people know what they want, and can't nobody else tell y'all what we want in our neighborhood. And that's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Thank you, Montre. And by the way, thank you very much for your participation in the Veterans Day.
Hello, good afternoon. Renee Grant, 3765 Northwest 9th Street, Delray Beach, Florida, 33445. My question is regarding the 98 Northwest 5th Avenue tenant opportunities. Is that okay to ask a question about that?
Say the address one more time.
The tenant opportunities at the new location.
So Renee Jackson, Executive Director. So
Right.
that's this public comment. So we can speak after if you want to, but you can ask your question to the commission, but we would address it later with you. But if you want to speak with staff now, we can have someone go out and speak to you right now if you'd
But
like.
that's agended, right? That's an item.
I thought it was on there. I looked on the agenda. It said something about the address, so.
It was 95
98
Northwest.
Northwest 5th Avenue.
The agenda has 95 Northwest. There's 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this for the grant opportunity. There's a. Are you speaking about the grant opportunity?
The tenant opportunity for that space.
Tenant.
Is that
So that's separate
That's
to this. This
separate.
is a grant
Okay,
for someone.
no
yeah,
problem.
but we can address your question now if you'd like.
No,
We
it's
can-
okay. I can talk after. Thank you.
Any other members of the public? Seeing none, public comments closed. We have the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve? Unless
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
Deputy Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Commissioner Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, Chair Carney,
Yes?
and Vice Chair Burns.
Yes.
Okay, great. We have no old business, but new business. Would you like to read the award request?
Yes, Christine's going to present this item for us.
Hello, good afternoon. Christine Tibbs, Assistant Director. Before you is the RFP CRA 2024-06, disposition of a CRA-owned vacant lot for the development of affordable/workforce housing. So this property in this RFP, the CRA board, pursuant to section 163.380 of Florida statutes, authorized staff to issue an RFP for the lot located at 238 Southwest 14th Avenue. You'll see the map on the screen on May 30th, 2024 for as an infill single-family housing to build affordable workforce housing on this lot. So let me go through. The RFP was issued on June 14th, 2024, and had a proposal submission due date of July 29th. The purpose, again, was to obtain proposals from qualified not-for-profit entities specializing in the development and construction of affordable workforce housing to enter into agreement with one of those entities to develop and construct one single-family home at 238 Southwest 14th Avenue. In compliance with the City of Delray Beach's workforce housing program, and the proposals needed to include how the home would be developed and constructed within an 18-month time frame, and the CRA would not be providing any subsidies for this, so the nonprofit entities would be fully responsible for the development and sale of this property. We received 3 proposals listed in alphabetical order: Boynton Beach Faith-Based Community Development Corporation, Delray Beach Community Land Trust, and Habitat for Humanity of Greater Palm Beach County. An overview of the proposals is before you. So you'll see each had an offer price. They range from $2,500 through $10,000. And then the home sales prices were also required to be provided in their proposal. You'll see that the Boynton Beach Community Development Corporation is proposing a home sales price of $295,000 for a 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage home. They would be selling the home and the land together. Their funding source is various subsidies, non-CRA subsidies, and the Florida Community Loan Fund. The CLT, their proposed home sales price was $375,000 for a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1-car garage home, and they would be utilizing a CLT model, and they would be funding it through their program budget. And Habitat for Humanity, it proposed using the appraised value as their sales price, and they estimated that the appraised value would be $475,000 for a 1-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage home. They would be proposing to sell the home with the land and funding the development through their program budget. So on September 10th, 2024, the evaluation committee met, consisting of 2 CRA staff members and 1 City of Delray Beach staff member, and they reviewed each proposal based on the requirements and criteria listed before you, maximum of 100 points. And the evaluation committee discussed the proposals and decided to go with oral presentations on October 30th, 2024. Each proposer was given 10 minutes to present, and then there was a Q&A session. At the end of the oral presentations, the evaluation committee scored, and the Boynton Beach Faith-Based Development Corporation came out with 282 points, Delray Beach CLT 276, Habitat for Humanity 277. And then based on the scores of the evaluation committee, the CRA staff is now requesting the CRA board to accept the evaluation committee's recommendation to award RFP CRA number 2024-06 for the disposition of 238 Southwest 14th Avenue to Boynton Beach Faith-Based Community Development Corporation, and authorize CRA staff to enter into contract negotiations with them. That's it.
Is it? Okay. It's not public comment, right? No. To the board?
Thank you. This is exciting because that price is so favorable, and the land is going with the project, which we know that one of the concerns residents have had is, why is the land not going? I've always appreciated the community land trusts and what they've done in our city, and Habitat is also amazing, but that you picked the correct one. So thank you very much for your hard work.
Commissioner Burns?
Good deal. Thank you. I'm losing my voice today.
I am just going to throw one comment out there in defense of the Community Land Trust. I would bet a big portion of the criteria for your determination had to do with the price, the end price of the unit. Because one was $375, which was the land, or $350 for the land trust. The other was in the $290 range.
So in our breakdown of the 100 points, 30 points was for the home sales price and the offer price, and then the criteria did not take into consideration if the property was sold with the land or without the land. So that was just for staff to know.
But my point was that at least a third of the price has to do with the end price of the house. Now, I've spoken to no one about this, but it appears to me that the land trust comes in and they may be selling their house for a little more, but I think that brings up the entire value of the entire neighborhood when you increase the value of the property, not always coming in with the lowest price. I'm not sure that helps neighborhoods. And I mean, as a guy who's a former banker, what you would look for is trends in appreciation, right? So if a house goes for $375, therefore everybody else can, the values all go up. So that's, my view. I mean, it's we're making the determination tonight, and I'm going to go with whatever the board says. But I think you need to be cautioned by when such a big percentage of your grade has to be how cheaply you can sell your house for in a neighborhood, because I'm not saying that really benefits the neighborhood. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I don't disagree with you, but we have done a lot of community land trust models, and this is providing to a different demographic, right? But
in my particular case, I was chairman of the Housing Authority.
No. Listen, I support the community land trust. I do wholeheartedly, and I think everybody on the land trust knows that. But this is just a different option that we're providing, and it's kind of exciting.
It's a great option, but I'm just saying, if they change their grading to truly measure what that means, and taking into a calculation of what the devaluation or increase in valuation
but
of a
you could
neighborhood.
argue if they graded giving the land away, then they would still get another more points, the BBCDC. So they might even go higher. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
so you give
Boynton Beach isn't known
CLT.
for going higher. Let me just say that.
My point is, it's one property, and I think it's an exciting.
As I said, I'll go with whatever the board says, but we need to take into account ultimately how it's going to cause an increase in. I mean, these should
I don't
all
see
be
one
because you
house
want to
doing
increase the
that
values
to a
of the
whole
neighborhoods.
community, and I think one house will be okay. I'm sure there'll be a $2 million.
It always starts with one, even if you're going up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nothing.
I'm
I was just.
I cut you off. I didn't do that. It was the blue shirt. I thought it was me talking.
You're good.
No, listen. I appreciate the work that you guys have done here to move the ball down the field, and I'm comfortable with what you've done.
I echo that.
So do we need to vote now?
I just wanted to add one comment. So this lot was actually part of 6. Right. So it was all together as one, and we had to cancel that bid, unfortunately. So the other 4 lots actually did go to the Community Land Trust, and this one was the highest score. So this one would be the CDC, and then we have another one right after this, and you'll see went to another entity. So it seems that of the 6, there was a good split amongst.
Look, they're both great groups. I'm not arguing the quality of their work. I'm just saying, I'm looking at a different kind of
Of
a picture
course.
as it relates to a neighborhood valuations. That's all.
No problem.
Right, and maybe
Anyway.
if you were doing 20 houses, but it's one house
Right.
amongst
So would you like to
many.
make a motion to approve?
I would love to. Motion to award request for proposal CRA number 2024-06 for the disposition of a CRA-owned vacant lot for the development of affordable workforce housing to Boynton Beach Faith-Based Community Development Corporation Incorporated.
Second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, Chair Carney,
Yes?
Vice Chair Burns,
Yes.
and Deputy Vice Chair Margaret.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. You're still here. So you have 9B.
I'll be here for the rest of the meeting.
We're all still here. You know, unfortunately, it's she got here by 3:15. Anyway, go ahead.
So this is for request for proposal CRA number 2024-07 for the disposition of a CRA-owned vacant lot at 260 Northwest 9th Avenue. At May 30th, 2024, the CRA board authorized CRA staff to issue an RFP for this particular vacant parcel pursuant to Section 163-380 of the Florida statutes. The RFP was issued on June 21st, 2024. The proposal submission due date was August 5th, 2024. The intent of issuing the RFP was to obtain proposals from qualified not-for-profit entities specializing in the development and construction of affordable workforce housing and enter into an agreement with one entity to develop and construct one single-family home pursuant to Delray Beach Workforce Housing Program within an 18-month time frame. So we received actually two proposals by the proposal submission due date. One was from the Boynton Beach Faith-Based Community Development Corporation, and the other was from Habitat for Humanity of Greater Palm Beach County. However, subsequent to the proposal submission due date and the first meeting of the evaluation committee on October 30th, 2024, the Boynton Beach Faith-Based Community Development Corporation did withdraw their proposal, so it was not scored by the evaluation committee. The proposal that was submitted by Habitat, offer price of $10,000, and to Mayor Carney's point, the sales price that Habitat uses is the appraised value. So they do sell it they get an appraisal when they are ready to sell, and they sell it at the appraised value, and then they work out their financing on the back end, however they need to finance it for their end buyer. Their proposed home is 1 story, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car garage, and they would be proposing to sell the home with the land. So the evaluation committee first met on September 13th, and then the committee, comprising of 2 CRA staff members and 1 City of Delray Beach staff member, did elect to go with oral presentations. You'll see the evaluation criteria and the point breakdown on the next slide. Total points, 100 points. So on October 30th, the evaluation committee finalized their scores, and Habitat ended up with 281. So at this time, CRA staff is requesting the CRA board accept the evaluation committee's recommendation and award RFP CRA number 2024-07 for the disposition of 260 Northwest 9th Avenue to Habitat for Humanity of Greater Palm Beach County, and authorize CRA staff to enter into contract negotiations with Habitat.
Can I ask a question, ma'am?
Sure, certainly.
Is it, I like that organization a lot, especially the way they have the people work, volunteer, build up the time to get the house, but that's an expensive house. And so, I mean, I'm just wondering, do we have to go forward?
So we don't. So actually, Habitat's here to explain the sales price because they actually have 2 mortgages on the property.
Yes.
Oh.
So the first mortgage
There's
is
two
for
mortgages on
there's
the
2. There's a silent second that maybe Habitat can
How much are the
Well, they-
can
mortgages?
speak to a little bit more.
No, I'm sorry. How much are the what's the total on the mortgage? Because
I'm going to ask
So-
if
Yeah, were they the original like grantors or lenders of the property?
for who was that Habitat?
Habitat, yes. So if I'm
Yes, I think
I'm
we
going to
should
have
ask
them
to-
correct
This is a
or
Habitat
step in.
project.
But
Okay,
from
that's
what I
fine.
remember
No, I
of the
understand.
evaluation committee,
Thank
because
you.
the evaluation committee did have questions about the $475,000 appraisal value as the sales price. So the sales price ends up, they don't exceed 30% of their buyer's mortgage. That's their monthly payment doesn't exceed 30% of their income.
Right.
And so it ends up being two mortgages. One is a silent mortgage that, and then the actual mortgage. So she'll explain how that's broken down so that the end buyer is not really paying the $475,000.
How much are they really paying?
So
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address.
Name and
My name is
organization for the
Jenny
record.
Davidson. I'm Director of Grants and Special Programs at Habitat for Humanity and Habitat for Humanity homeowner. So our mortgage system, we do sell at the appraisal price. Part of that, to your point, is to maintain the value in neighborhoods. But we base the sales price on paper by the appraisal. But we have two mortgages. There's the first mortgage, which is based on payments not to exceed 30% of the homeowner's income to maintain affordability. And that's where and then there's a second silent mortgage for the remainder to protect the value of the home and the value of the investment. But when the homeowner pays off that mortgage at the end of 30 years, that silent second is forgiven.
Oh.
So they don't end up, as long as they stay in the home and it's owner occupied, they don't end up paying that additional. It's just there to protect the investment that Habitat has in the purchase of the home.
Okay.
We have a model that's
30
shared.
years is very generous. I mean, we have one, would we 10?
I'm sorry, for what?
We have our loan forgiveness programs. We have a,
Oh, I don't think we
no?
don't
so
do
I
that
have a
anymore.
question. I'm
The
not
loan
sure what a
forgiveness is
silent
here.
mortgage is.
Yeah, well, silent, I was going to get to that question. What exactly is a silent mortgage?
So it's a second mortgage that the homeowner doesn't make payments on.
But it's recorded.
But it's recorded,
Okay,
yeah.
then it's not silent.
And then, well,
Salary, they don't have to pay
so
it.
our
lawyers, it's
COO
not silent,
could
if it's
speak to this a
recorded.
little more detailed, but basically it protects the investment. If the homeowner gets transferred for work after being in the home for 5 years, then if they sell, Habitat has right of first refusal. So we can choose to purchase the property back from them and pass it on to another Habitat homeowner using our model. If we choose not to, they can sell it on the open market, but that sales price would also have to cover that second mortgage to recoup our investment in the property. So we don't see that happen very often, but it has happened in our 35, 40 years. Most homeowners stay in their home. And at the end of when they pay off their first mortgage, that second mortgage is completely forgiven. And that's kind of how the model works. So I'm happy to answer your questions.
Well, I'm just saying that, but at the moment, because the person hasn't gone to 30 years, the full value of the second is included in the amount that needs to be paid off. Is that what we're saying?
She's saying it's almost forgiven. It's just there to retain. They only are going to pay over the 30 years what they can.
Right, but what I'm saying is your sale price includes that unrecovered
Yeah, the sales
amount.
price includes the full appraised value.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But the first mortgage is based on their income.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
That's interesting concept.
It is.
Yeah, it's just.
I never heard of it.
And then one other question, forgive me if
That
this
was a
is not
traditional
a
way to
good
do that,
question, but
but-
with our programs, the option to 30 years is a long time, but if a child of the resident takes over the home, is there that option to take over?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And we have a model of shared appreciation. So the longer the homeowner is in the home, the more of the appreciation in the property they realize. And it's based on time. So the first 5 years, it's a 5%, and then it accumulates the longer they're in the home.
Got it. Thank you for that. It's very clear now. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
that.
Any questions? Any more?
You're good? Okay, motion to award request for proposal CRA number 2024-07 for the disposition of CRA-owned vacant lot for the development of affordable workforce housing to Habitat for Humanity of Greater Palm Beach Incorporated.
Second.
Commissioner Long, Chair Carney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burns,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
and Commissioner Casal.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, and we're now on to resolution 2024-17. Would you like to read the resolution? Would you like me to read the resolution? Public notice of intent to dispose of portions of Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency owned property, specifically 106 Northwest 10th Avenue. You're on.
Okay. So on April 25th, 2023, the CRA board approved the purchase of 106 Northwest 10th Avenue. It's located in the northwest neighborhood of the set in sub-area 4. It's a vacant lot, approximately 20,400 square feet in zone single family. And the subject property is unique, as you'll see in the screen before you, that it includes remnants of an alley. So at this time, CRA staff is preparing to plat the subject property, the square portion of it, into 3 standard sized lots and prepare the property for future development of affordable workforce housing. During this process, we met with City of Delray Beach Development Services staff, and it was determined that the entirety of the subject property would need to be included in the platting process, meaning the remnants of the alley would also need to be included and could not be left out. Moreover, substandard sized lot sizes would not be able to be platted. So disposition of the portions of the subject property that comprise of the alley remnants to abutting property owners, and then including those property owners in the platting process, was determined to be the best path forward for the CRA to accomplish its goal of platting 3 additional properties to put out for the development of affordable and workforce housing. So on May 30th, the CRA board approved issuing a notice of intent to dispose pursuant to section 163-380 of the Florida statute to dispose of just the alley remnants of the subject property to qualified abutting property owners to help facilitate the platting process. The alley remnants were divided into 4 portions, and those portions of the subject property were included included in the notice of intent to dispose. The eligible respondents included those property owners that own property directly abutting those 4 portions of the subject property. So you'll see we divided into 4 and labeled them. So lot 1 is on Northwest 1st, and then it goes north 2, 3, and 4. And the X is the portion that the CRA is keeping to plat into 3 separate single-family lot properties. The notice of intent was issued on August 14th, 2024. The due date, October 16th, 2024, was published on the CRA's website and in the Palm Beach Post. 4 responses were timely received on October 16th, and you'll see them in the slide before you. And they were all confirmed to be abutting property owners, all located on Northwest 10th Avenue. So CRA staff and CRA legal counsel has reviewed the submitted responses and have found the respondents qualified and their respective responses responsive to the notice of intent to dispose. So at this time, CRA staff is recommending the CRA board award the public notice of intent to dispose of substandard sized portions of the CRA owned property located at 106 Northwest 10th Avenue to 4 abutting property owners. Lot 1 to Margaret Jenkins Trust, Lot 2 Claremont Property Investments, Lot 3 Devon Harrington, and Lot 4 Cheryl Denise Merrick for the purpose of replatting the subject property for the future development of affordable workforce housing. Approve Resolution 2024-17 and 4 purchase and sale agreements with the abutting property owners for the purchase of portions of property located at 106 Northwest 10th Avenue in substantially the same forms as included with this agenda item. Authorize the CRA board chair to execute those purchase and sale agreements. I hope you guys understand. Authorize the CRA board.
I'm not surprised you confused Alexa. I mean, goodness gracious.
And 4, authorize CRA staff to plat 106 Northwest 10th Avenue and include the 4 abutting property owners' properties within our plat application. So the anticipated result would be platting 7 lots and removing substandard size lots on that Northwest 10th Avenue street. 3 of them would be CRA owned and the 4 individually owned by the 4 private property owners. And to the board.
Any comments from the board?
I think it makes sense.
None other than one property owner has been waiting and very confused about this. So
This makes so much sense.
happy,
Just give the property, I mean,
absolutely.
add to everybody's yard and
Squares the lines. It's
and
great.
let us develop the property.
I'm glad it's happening. So finally, thank you.
Would you like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Chair Carney,
Yes? Oh, I'm sorry.
To the
Would
chair.
you, let him read the resolution, then you're going to,
Resolution by title only, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, approving and authorizing the authorized officials to execute 4 separate agreements for purchase and sale relative to the conveyance of CRA-owned property generally located at 106 Northwest 10th Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida, providing for conflict, severability, and effective date.
Motion to approve.
Chair Carney,
yes.
Vice Chair Burns,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Commissioner Casal, and Commissioner Long.
Thank you all very much. We are now on to other business. Comments by Executive Director.
Yes.
That was your picture, I saw it.
I was right there. Where did I go? Yes,
There you go.
that's me. Okay. All right.
That's what it's all about, Renee.
Yes. No, it's all about the CRA. So we had a really good social last week. We had a visitor with us all day. One of our commissioners was there. Commissioner Burns passed by about the Northwest Neighborhood Infrastructure Project. So it was really, really wonderful. I think we probably had almost 100 people through the day to come out and look at the plan. So that project is, I think, the 90% design document. So it's going on to construction documents soon, and then hopefully out to bid next year, which means we have to get our act together with funding at some point. So more to come on that, but I just wanted to say thank you to, board members, to the public who came out. That's what it's all about, really just coming out and sharing. People were able to actually come there and look at their street and their house and see what was happening with this infrastructure project. So I thought it was really impactful for people to see that. We saw a lot of new faces that don't normally come out to participate, so it was a really engaging time. So in keeping that on, we have our last social for the year on December 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. So we always do a section that has CRA general information so people don't know what's the CRA, what we can do, what we can't do. We have a 101 section that's always the basics. What is CRAs? We've been discussing West Atlantic Avenue projects as a result of our workshop last month. So we want to continue that on and share some of the information that we discussed at our workshop last month. And last is a new topic, accessory dwelling units. So development services, we have a couple fans of that. So CRA has been working with development services on an accessory dwelling unit study in the set Northwest Southwest neighborhoods in particular as the kind of the study area of how this would look in the city, because right now you can have an accessory structure but it can't have a kitchen. So they're trying to actually make them true ADUs, accessory dwelling units, but the city basically needs the mechanics of how to do that. What do the LDRs need to be changed? So this study has been discussing that. Our social is just going to be what is accessory dwelling units, and there will be other meeting in January with development services, a bigger meeting. This is just kind of for people to come and learn about them, what they are, how they look, just to get the information out there. So hope you all can join, but that's going to be, again, December 5th from 5 to 7 at the M. Baines Building, 98 Northwest 5th Avenue. We also have our RAC Redevelopment Advisory Committee meeting on December 12th, so that'll be great. We'll have an update from them in January. And then our regular board meeting we have listed in January is January 28th. And last, I just wanted to bring up a joint CRA city workshop or meeting about the disparity study that the city's been working on. So we've participated in that in a very small aspect because we don't have that many contracts, but we wanted to hold a joint meeting just to finalize that. And I think that'd be maybe in February, I believe, to allow time for a public meeting. So I just wanted to bring it up here. I know it's been discussed at City Commission, but I just wanted to have it discussed here as well.
I know it was early next year. February, that sounds about right.
I think they were proposing January, but we were I was discussing with city staff about maybe doing it in February, so there's time for a public meeting. Otherwise, the public meeting would need to be over the holidays, and I thought that wasn't really a good
that was
time.
going to be overburdensome. Yeah.
Exactly. So we thought maybe like a mid-January public outreach meeting and then having this in February. But I have to confirm with the city. Right now, I think it's scheduled in January for the city. So more to come. That one. Next.
Can I just want to congratulate you on the social. I had the good fortune to attend, and the format was really great. I mean, people came out, they were open, they shared their ideas, they shared their concerns, but in the most constructive manner I've seen during my time in Delray. And so I just a tip of the hat to you for pulling that off. Your staff was great, and it just was a great way to bring the residents together and really get the feedback. So it was really good.
Thank you very much. It's been the successful way to engage with the community. Obviously, bigger meetings where you're presenting are great, but we wanted to, look like a year and a half ago, do something a little bit different where it's more one-on-one, so people can actually learn and ask questions for themselves and not get lost in a group setting. So, and it was great. This particular one, we had a day session and an evening session. And, you know, we had some people came back twice. I mean, some people, were there hanging out with us for the day. So it was really a good time. So thank you.
Yeah, it was well done.
Thank you. All right. Oh, another event. So save the date. I got an email from one of the representatives from the Riviera Beach CRA. They have a youth intramural or inner city youth golfers organization that they're recognizing me and Evelyn Dobson for being community giants, as they call it. Thank you. Yay. So, and their list is here. There's others. They do this every year about different individuals in the county. So we happen to have 2 from Delray, so it's very exciting. So we'll be participating in this. If anybody wants to attend or participate, please let me know. But I'll be there. Evelyn Dobson will be there as well. So Delray Beach will be well represented. And that's on December 6th. Next is a ribbon cutting. So we're closing out the year really, really well with a ribbon cutting. Blanc Fresh Cut Barbershop was in our 700 West Atlantic building, the green building. Forever. 35 years he was in that building, and he is now moved over with William Hatcher in the Hatcher building. So I'm glad that he found a great home. So we wanted to celebrate. They just got their certificate of occupancy. So we wanted to try and see if we could squeeze this in before the end of the year, which we can. So we're planning to hold this on December 11th. And I've actually spoken with Laura at the DDA about having it jointly presented, since it is a DDA business in the DDA district as well, and we want to really start highlighting businesses in the West especially, and this is one of them who happens to have been in West Atlantic for a very long time.
I mean, he has a lot of followers. He'll bring a lot of people.
Yes, definitely. So this will be December 11th at 4 p.m. I will send out the flyer, but I just wanted to mention it here for those watching in the board. Please come and join us. It's really exciting to be celebrating with Norcibian. He's a great person, and we're happy for him. Another event. So 12 Days of Christmas is sponsored by individuals in the SET community. They have a luncheon, part of their 12 days every year. So this is Christmas Women, or 12 Days of Christmas Women Who Shine in the SET luncheon, and I'm being recognized on that as well.
There you go.
So
the ticket sales begin.
Yeah. If anyone would like to attend, so this is Saturday, December 21st from 11 to 1:30 at the Aloft. So if anyone wants to go, please let me know. We'll get tickets for this as well. So lots of great things happening in December. Very busy.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving. This is actually our last meeting for the year, so unless we have a special meeting, but happy holidays to...
I thought we were going to have Secret Santa.
We can. That'll be our special meeting. So from us, CRA staff, we really appreciate everything. Thank you for the wonderful year. We're excited for the year to come, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Duty.
Yes, sir. Keeping with a long-standing or short-standing, whatever the case, tradition, I have nothing to report other than I would like to wish to the board a very happy Thanksgiving and to your family as well.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Casal.
Yeah, no, I would just say happy holidays. Thank you, Renee. You're amazing. Always impress us.
Thank you.
Commissioner Burns.
So I do have an item I want to talk about, but all things joy. Congratulations, Renee, on the Women Who Shine and the golf thing for you and Evelyn. I won't be here on December 6th, so I'll miss that one, but I will be here for the Women Who Shine. And also congratulations on adding 7 more affordable housing to the start. I mean, we're nibbling away, but we're going. So that's great for the 6 that were, or the 4 that were just, yes. And then the 3 others that you're going to get on 10th. That's great that we're adding to that to our stock. I wanted to also talk about. I just want to get some clarity on this container project. I know that's not such a great thing with me. Yes. So, I understand that this came as a result of the study in 2012, 12 years ago. So, I know that we've gone through a lot of changes in Delray, and I also know that I understand wanting to activate the area. It's been vacant for a while. But we just recently, CRA just recently acquired some property. Thank you, Ms. Young, up on 9th Avenue that abuts this parcel. So it makes it a little bit larger.
Yes.
And possibly do some different things with it. And I also want some clarity on temporary. From the beginning, when I heard about this, my understanding was that this was a temporary solution to activating the area, not something permanent. And I just needed to make sense that we put $7 million in something that is temporary. I can't wrap my brain around that. So help me out, please.
Yes. Okay. So when we initially, so there is an open request for qualifications for a builder, design build for the modular shipping container development on the Northwest 600 or 800 block. So initially, when we talked about this, the board at the time, we were trying to find ways to activate that we could handle on a smaller scale, which is kind of where the 98 Northwest 5th Avenue development came from, to renovate that building, build 95 Southwest 5th, because it's a few $1 million, which it's something we can handle. It's not the multi-million like these larger many acre project. So we looked at that site and we're trying to see what we could do, because there is also still an open remediation for the ground, basically on the corner where the old gas station was on 805 West Atlantic. There is still an open remediation. All the equipment is off of there, but the remediation is tied to contamination in the median that has been going on for probably 25 years. So when we were looking at this, we were trying to find a way to activate it with something that it's temporary in the sense that maybe 5 to 7 years or so, or it could be longer, but it's something that we didn't have to tap into groundwater, especially where that contaminated or that what former contamination site was, is a slab. There's a concrete slab. We wouldn't have to tap into the groundwater there because we don't have a no further action letter from the state. So that's why it was temporary in that sense of how can we activate it, considering at that time we still had, I think, even the fences up when we were looking at this project, and then we didn't own the piece that we are going under contract now. We just approved it on consent. So if we're able to finalize the transaction, it will make it more of a rectangular square configuration. We don't have the clearance from the state on the no further action. We didn't do an assessment of what it would take to build anyway. We just looked at putting a concrete slab because we were trying to look at this as an open park space. So it's temporary in that sense of considering the constraints that we had, what could we do to activate this space? And that's where it came from. So. But when we purchase this Young property from Carolyn Young, it will make it more of a square rectangle, and that'll be a little bit different if the board wants to consider something different there. But at the time, we were looking at what can we do considering the constraints we had.
Can I ask a question, Ms. Barnes? How much money have we put into this so far? I was at the ground level on this, and I think Commissioner Boylston at the time had seen it, and I saw it when I was in England. It's pretty amazing because the idea was we could use the space for startup businesses, a little coffee shop, a little pastry shop, things like that, but more important as a gathering space because there was going to be a stage, there's going to be a market area, and there's going to be a water element for moms to bring their kids. Kids can play, moms can grab a coffee.
I've looked at the whole design.
And it was at the time it was, and they can make it. I know some people are wondering, well, what's that going to look like when you get off the highway? We're at Atlantic Avenue. Well, one, what does it look like now? That's your first question. And two, if you look at these, they can be made to be very attractive. You can make them very artistic, but you can also make them a little bit more subtle. They can be made to be a lot, but what they can be, because we did have that issue with the ground, and putting a slab in was easy and quicker, and the idea that we could activate it and give a spot for small businesses, startup businesses, was pretty exciting.
I think
you see these little mini villages, and other communities have done it. Look, I have to be honest, my first reaction, which you and I probably know 2 days after I was elected, my first reaction was, I don't want to put containers on Atlantic Avenue. It's going to look terrible. But, I've looked at some of these, and, we're not building foundation. I mean, the reality is if you make a mistake, it's easy to fix. Because these are
$7 million worth of mistakes.
I'm not saying it's not cheap. I'm not saying it's not cheap. But what I'm saying is there is a void there at the moment. It still does have the technical deficit of being temporary, and it has had some great success
Right.
in other places. I mean, I got an email this afternoon from well-respected guy saying, giving me examples, and I looked him up, and he's right. So.
I visited. I went to Vegas. Commissioner Frankel asked. I went to the one in Vegas, and I wasn't impressed.
You were not?
No, I was not.
Okay.
It was nice for Vegas.
What didn't you like about it?
And the area. I looked around, and I looked at what was surrounding it, and I saw liquor stores. I saw little shops, side stores. And it didn't look to me what we want for Delray. I mean, we're trying to make the West End look like the East End, or that was fit the community on this end, and that just doesn't do it. And I've seen one that was very beautiful, looked like an amusement park.
Okay.
But my concern is putting $7 million to be there for 5 to 7 years when we have such a homeless issue, when we have such an affordability issue, and I'm just looking at that in terms of, CRA providing affordable housing. We have a beautiful area in front of the tennis center that we can put some 15 kiosks and have that. I mean, push the center back. There's plenty of the space for that. So that's just my feeling. And thank you for the explanation about the temporary. Yes.
And that's fair criticism. I mean, it's not cheap.
I think also at the time when we were doing this, we were considering across the street on the south side would be hotel, larger buildings. So maybe the other side could have something smaller scale and not these large big buildings, because we can make them look however we want. They could actually look like a white slab square building. It's just the building material that's a little bit different, and a lot of the cost that $7 million is actually into the ground because there's nothing there now. So whether it's a building or whether it's this, there still needs to be some kind of system to get water and electric. All that has to be in place. So the build itself isn't as expensive as a building. But the $7 million, a lot of it is groundwork. It's not
infrastructure.
It's infrastructure. It's not the above ground because there's nothing there. So you could look at it really as almost like an open park space that if you want to take down part of it one day, put a building there, put like a little commercial building or something.
That infrastructure stuff carries over to your next building.
It's going to stay.
Everything. It's not like it's lost.
And that would be
You're spending
great.
it now on a piece of
No,
real estate.
100%.
Can you separate it out for me whenever you get time to show me how much of that $7 million is for infrastructure? Because as you say, that has to be done anyway, no matter what goes there.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It would be nice to see it separated out.
Sure, I'll look
Thank
and
you.
see. We had a study from the consultant. He did. I think the cost to build a building there was like $20 million or something. Do you remember?
Yeah, it's in the report. I have to go back. He did do a comparison, and that included looking at the infrastructure that was needed for both.
Right.
So
I would like
we
to
will
see
have
that. Thank you.
Yes, we have that in the report. No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, and have a nice Thanksgiving for everybody.
Thank you.
Commissioner Marker.
Yep, thanks. I'll be really brief. I think you're doing everything you can on affordable housing. And you and I have talked about it. We don't have a lot of vacant land and empty dirt, and I think Angela's word was we're nibbling at it. And
That's right. I mean,
that's kind of what it feels like to me. But it's still steady progress, and I think we
Absolutely.
should feel good about it. We're doing everything we can with what we have, so I think that's good. Again, I want to just commend you on the community outreach program. I thought that was great, and we can all learn from that. I think the progress you've made this year has been amazing, and you can feel the momentum, and I just want you and your staff to know how much we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
And it seems like it can't be Thanksgiving already, but have a nice
I
Thanksgiving.
mean, it's already. I mean, really.
I know we can have
Really?
it. We'll be
Didn't we just get elected?
It
It
does
was like
feel like
yesterday.
that.
Oh, not you.
seems like that for me too.
Yeah, well, it always does. You don't. Okay.
Yes, Sam.
A
Thank you.
couple of things. I know that the evaluation forms and the grading forms that we're using are kind of been established by FRA, and we're kind of following the same guidelines. All I'm saying is that in our community, where we are trying to, by redevelopment, we are increasing value to the entire neighborhood. I think that ought to be a criteria that you use in your grading process. I don't know that it's done elsewhere, but it seems to me that when we add significant value, and when somebody comes in to add significant value to a neighborhood, that ought to be part of the grading process too, because I don't like the lowest price always going into a neighborhood. Just I know you've got what you.
No, I was going to say, but you encourage gentrification if you're looking to increase the value.
I'm not encouraging anything. The reality is, as property values increase, and you want to create wealth.
This is like the first time since I've ever sat up here that I've seen a house for sale that cheap, though. The CLT models were in the.
I thought it's a balancing act.
I'm just saying it's one house.
You try to redevelop a neighborhood and improve values. On the other hand, you.
But I'm just wondering why. I guess I'm wondering what your concern is. It's one house.
I just raised the issue that you had one person that's going to sell the house for $375,000, the other for $295,000. The person that sells it for $375,000 all immediately increases the value of everybody's house in the neighborhood. That's just the way it works.
Okay.
But I think the values are pretty much there. I mean, we're not.
I wasn't
Okay.
qualitatively
I wasn't
doing
sure.
anything here.
Another
I'm saying
thing
you had one at $375,000, one at $295,000. If you're buying into a neighborhood where the highest sales price is $375,000, all the other prices go up. Everybody raises,
Yeah.
That was my only point. I'm happy with the decision. I'm just.
But we're talking about the grading scale. So another thing I would say, if we're talking about that, I think if knowing that about Habitat for Humanity makes the price look different, even in the first selection, because that was the first thing I was looking at was the three costs.
They're also heavily subsidized. They can afford to do it.
No, they did. They were the most expensive, is what I'm saying. On paper, on that form, they were for something
Habitat was,
or
yes.
market value.
Yeah.
So I guess
That's
if we're looking at how we grade in information, that would just have been something that something to know.
That came out during oral presentations, which is an option that the evaluation committee has, and it's not always an option that they elect to go forward with. So in all of our solicitations that have that option, it states that you should include every piece of information that you would like the evaluation committee to consider, because it may not go forward to oral presentations to have that chance to do the Q&A and clarify things.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
no, it's fine.
I
think we
I don't
were
know
going
like
the-
term neutrally.
If you add it to the schedule of points,
yes,
people will respond.
It didn't. It would never have changed the situation. I'm just saying it's something good to know. Thank you.
Can I add something?
I'm sorry.
Can I just add real fast with the bidding process? So before we go out for the next grouping of bids, we can come back and review this with the board. So these, I guess we have maybe new players, new individuals and people. This is the first time that since I've been here seeing the way that this bid came back. So I think it would be worth looking at it a little bit more, because we did have to have the presentations and go through a little bit more to get to the end result. But we've also, like I said, there's just different people that have been involved, I think, in this particular process. So all around. So I think we should look at it. If you're questioning some things, we can look at it. It's an economic
test for me.
We do the bid in-house, so we can definitely look at it. It goes to the board, but next time it is, I'll make sure that we have a bigger discussion about the process, the review process,
Look,
how the bids
also
come
helps with
in.
future lending on people's properties. Somebody wants to buy into the neighborhood, the highest price in the neighborhood helps with the appraisal process. For the turnover as well.
Right. They're also
keep it affordable.
Keep it right. So they're
I
all in the
understand.
workforce housing program, whether it's the higher end or the lower end of the workforce housing program. They all have to go into that program. So we also want to look at having a variety of sale
Obviously,
prices.
the program houses are different. I understand.
That's what. All of these are in the program. Exactly.
We could keep going on this.
I know. We'll do for the next go round. I know we do. There's a
It's
planning
only
and
been an
zoning
hour
meeting.
and 5 minutes. I don't feel like we even had a
Planning
meeting.
and zoning has a meeting at 5. We're gonna get kicked out.
But I would like to have a serious conversation about what do we really want to do on West Atlantic. Do we want them as separate lots? Do we want them as one project? And in that regard, I thought about it today. Maybe it would be wise for us to reach out to a professional realtor company who will not be making any bids to kind of give us their thoughts as what's the best value for the city. Whether we should do it in 3 lots or 1 lot, 1 development or three lots. There are synergies to both. Obviously, phasing is different. The strength of the company that can bid on 3 lots is going to be different from the 1 lot. So you may add more, local participation capability. But I think somebody should actually look for it. We keep talking about it, but
I think we
Yes.
were waiting till the litigation.
We're waiting for the
was
lawsuit.
over.
Yeah. So at the workshop last month, we talked about looking at all of our properties on West Atlantic. So we are doing the request for qualifications to have a pool of brokers or real estate agents that specialize in the particular things: the grocery stores, the pharmacies, banks, and medical. So we're putting that together. Should go out this week or next week. So that was part of it, but as a broader looking at all of West Atlantic. We haven't actually spoken about the specifics of those blocks because of the lawsuit that's happening, but it was something that we were planning to discuss once we go ready to go out to bid. Nothing will happen until it comes here first for us to have a bigger discussion. So it will happen.
no, understood. Any other